second question sort of got modified, and the reason is we wrote a question about how do people feel about the half-cent sales tax renewal. And of course, if you've been following events, the county commission is determined to put that tax back on the ballot, I believe, for a 5-year period, and it will be a quarter-cent sales tax run by the county. And previous edition of that had the city on the same thing. It was a half-cent tax, which involved roads and bridges for the county, half of it, and the other half was economic development for the city. And the political process right now, it's probably going to be 2 quarter-cent taxes. And that actually makes more sense if you know the background, because of course the city includes part of Potawatomi County, and if it would have been run the same way, it wouldn't include the whole city, and that's the reason that it's been split into 2 things. So to modify the question and just leave it open-ended, what are the candidates, what do you think about the quarter-cent sales tax to where it stands now? Understanding that you will probably have no effect on it. You're going to live with whatever happens because it's on the ballot, and it'll be on the ballot in November, and it's a done deal when you take office. But just give us your thoughts on that. I'll start with you.
Well, primarily, thank goodness, I don't have to make a decision on that, but it is up to the voters, and the sales tax always has been. My position is the responsible spending of the county's portion of it, which, by the way, the quarter-cent will net the county more money than the previous half-cent with the city. So I think it's probably the best proposal. I see they shorted it to 5 years, which I was really surprised to find out this morning when I was down at the county commission meeting, but that's fine. We'll make the best use of it if I'm elected. And one thing about road and bridges, I'm not going to go out and be looking, at gerrymandering, but I do have experience in road work, and the street that I mentioned previously, the reason I was mentioning to go up and look at it, drive around Manhattan, look at the broke up streets. This street I paved in 1996 or 1997. The city wanted $31,300 and some dollars to the landowner who hired me to pave it, and my total bill was just under $15,700. Of course, I didn't have to have the interest and everything, and then the city also ordered me to pay 3% to the city, which I did. And so this half-cent sales tax is designed for the county residents for road and bridges, and that's what I'm going to see to it that it's spent for. And we have a very good public works department. They have a very good idea of the order of road and bridges as they need to be taken care of. So I'm very impressed with them. And if elected, my job would be to see that it's well spent.
Are we going to get a complete consensus on taxes, on sales tax? Come on, guys. I am a proponent of the quarter-cent sales tax for the county. And I'm a proponent of the quarter-cent sales tax for the city. The county tax is needed to support bridges and roads. There's a $20 million backload of targeted repairs to our current bridges and roads, and we've got a lot of them. Larry's got all the numbers. He can tell you exactly how many bridges and culverts we got, but we've got hundreds of miles of roads, and we're only budgeting, or we're only approving a quarter-cent sales tax for 5 years and $10 million. So you get to look at it again. Now, having said all that, I am a big proponent of doing things corporately. Cooperation, we used to say cooperate and graduate. I would have liked to have seen the city and the county come to a decision on that, a corporate decision, and have one sales tax initiative before the voters. By the same token, I think our citizens are very, very smart. They will understand that these people are looking out for their best interests, and that this tax is needed on both entities. And I would encourage you all to talk about taxes, the quarter-cent sales tax, and be proponents for it. Thank you.
Well, I agree with Bob. We definitely need the money to repair our bridges and our road structures. I've seen the bridges firsthand, been under most of them around this county, and they are in dire need of repair, and I believe this is a great way to get around doing it, and it's long overdue. They are very unsafe, some of them. You know, they haul a lot of big loads over them that they shouldn't be hauled over. But this is an opportunity to make it right, so I think this is a very good tax to support. I approve it, and I hope you all vote for it. Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna jump in with the crowd here and say I think Bob put it excellently. In a perfect world, I would rather see a half-cent sales tax cooperating with the city and the county so that we can pull in revenue from Pot County as well, and then have an interlocal agreement where everybody wins. But there are a lot of other factors at play, and obviously that didn't work and may not have passed anyway with the voters. So I think absent that, I think we're looking at probably the best situation that we can have, where we have the quarter-cent sales tax with the city so that we're not losing all of the sales tax at Walmart and Menards and places like that in Pot County. But at the same time, the county has their half that they can use that we can use for roads and bridges, which obviously are very important, not just for ones that are falling apart now, but to prevent so that future county commissions don't have to deal with the roads that are in good shape now, 20 years down the road. So I think that's really important. I really like using this as a sales tax as opposed to property tax, because we can share the burden with the 52,000 people that fill that stadium every Saturday in the fall, and with the people that are tearing up Country Stampede. Those people are all paying those sales taxes too, and that's property taxes. That's money that comes into the county that doesn't come out of your property taxes. So I think it's crucial that we pass this, continue this sales tax, I commend actually everyone up here for to say that there would be 4 Republicans and 2 Democrats sitting at a table talking about how they all agree on tax policy. I think people would probably laugh at you. So this has been really refreshing for me, and I'm kind of excited to see the campaign moving forward and where we end up. So thanks a lot, everyone. That's all I have.
Well, I think it worked well the first time, and I think they ought to be renewed. I, too, would rather see them together, but the half-cent, the quarter% that goes to the county roads and bridges, just think about that a minute. 2 things. One has been pointed out. The sales tax allows us to have people that are using our roads in our county, in our city, and if it doesn't pass, I don't want to be negative, but if it does not pass, well, where are those funds going to come from to repair our roads and our bridges and keep them up to date? I'll leave it as a question. What kind of tax, or where would we cut? And what were the priorities if we have to do that? So that's something I think we have to consider. As far as the half-cent sales, or the 1/4% that went to economic development for the city, I thought that was something that we needed. It helps the city of Manhattan, and it greatly helps the quality of life in Manhattan, keeps us growing and having good orderly growth and development in the community, and that affects, again, our properties and our values. So I would support both of them. I give one little thing at the last. I worked for the Riley County Road and Bridge when I was in college, and I don't have the expertise that some of these other people have, but I worked there 1 year, and they used to put Vaseline all over, put me underneath the bridge and give me a spray paint gun because I was a low guy on the totem pole. And we ripped up one bridge up in the north part of the county, and there must have been 8,000 snakes under that bridge.
Well, I too support the tax. In February, I wrote the county commission and copied the city administration. I supported the city's half-cent tax for the reasons that were discussed. Bringing in the revenue base that would come from Pot County is critical, and it's growing. I think that's something we tend to forget. Not only are those big businesses there, but that sales tax is going to continue to grow over there. I'm going to depart a little bit. I like the quarter. I think that it was a win-win in the end. because obviously the entire Riley County will have its quarter cent. It's very specific, it's for roads and bridges, I mean, and it's been discussed. If it's not through sales tax that others can help us pay, it will be an ad valorem tax. Those bridges have to be repaired, those roads have to be repaired. So that's black and white in my mind. And at the city's level, being able to bring that in the Potawatomi County is critical. I think it cleans up the issue of the memorandum agreement between the county and the city in Potawatomi County's eye. They're our neighbors, we need to support our neighbors, and I hope that the city's able to craft some of their monies to where it can be used for projects jointly with Potawatomi County, and that's the entity that should do that, because they're the entity that resides in the county also. So I think it's a good public process. It got started, there was discussion, meeting after meeting, and quite frankly, I was impressed that both commissions took action last week, I think, in plenty of time, and I hope they're both on the November ballot so that everybody sees them. I think it can be sold that it's a joint tax. Both together are pursuing this, and I think that's how it will win.